decorum and candor in the manner in which we relate in this inquiry. We expect that you answer every question put to you through the chair, and all members have done very well and advise that all questions are also through the chair. So we limit completely any exchanges between the nominee and the members of the committee. We will also, for a start, after a few preliminaries, give you 10 minutes or less to tell us the story of your life. Who is Mithika Linturi? Franklin. Your journey to where you are seated. At the end of the proceedings, we'll give you also an opportunity for 3 minutes to tell us your closing wish. Having listened to you, you have the capacity to assess how you have performed, what you want us to do with you in this regard. Now, before we start, I'll ask you a few documentations that we require. I have been told by the clerk that certain affidavits sent in by members of the public were forwarded to you to look at and respond. You did not choose to depone in any rebuttal, but you are at liberty to give answers to any questions that may be asked in relation to those affidavits. The election to depone or not to depone is entirely yours, but the committee will not prevent you from saying anything in relation to those affidavits, in rebuttal or in affirmation of the contents therein. Do you have your tax compliance certificate from KRA?
Yes, I do.
You've already forwarded to us?
Yes.
Yes, the clerks will want to see the originals to compare with what you have sent to us after we have run through the list. Do you have the clearance from the Higher Education Loans Board?
Yes, I do.
Do you have clearance with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, ASCC?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a certificate of good conduct?
Yes, I do.
From DCI?
Yes, I do.
From Mr. Kinoti?
Yes, I do. Of course, after his departure, I got a clearance.
It's with a light touch. I know you had running battles with Kinoti. Have you ever been charged and convicted of a criminal offense in any court of law?
I have been charged, but never convicted.
Have you ever been adversely mentioned in any parliamentary committee report?
No.
Are you a dual citizen of Kenya and any other sovereign?
No.
You have your identity card as well. You'll show the original to compare with what you sent to us. At a personal level, what is your financial net worth? Some of your finances have been in public domain.
Mr. Chairman, my financial net worth, which includes my investments in various companies in this country and other investments in circles to the tune of around 1.2 billion.
1.2 billion.
Yes.
Segregation or tabulation?
Mr. Speaker, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
You can use them interchangeably. Yes.
Yeah, I have listed a list of the immovable assets that I own in a page in the statement of net worth that includes properties that are developed. I've also put in a list of all the vehicles that are available for my personal use. And I've also put in the amounts of shares that I owned in various constitutions, one including the parliamentary circle, which I am a member. Mr. Speaker, I've also listed in directorship of in different companies where I'm one of the largest shareholders, which is also on pin 16. So paragraph 16 from their questionnaire, and all these total to the tune of around 1.2 billion.
Good. What are your current and anticipated sources of income?
My current incomes is the money that I get out of rental income, out of business that I do, like I am a dairy farmer. I keep cows and goats. I do sukuma wiki. And Mr. Speaker, the amount of money that I think I am expecting that to get probably in the near future is beyond 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, I have court awards that have been taxed and not been paid, and one that I'm trying to deal with is the EACC, who owes me money for wrongful prosecution. The other, Mr. Speaker, is government for failure to pay for works done. That is how what constitutes to beyond 1 billion shillings.
I will now invite you, Honorable Mithika Linturi, for under 10 minutes to tell us the story of your life.
Before I proceed, Mr. Chairman, if you may allow me, let me clarify that I only got one affidavit from the clerk and not two. I am willing and ready to answer to that question so that I don't get ambushed on something that was not presented to me. I only got one from Transparency International.
Go ahead. I also clarify, the clerk had mentioned affidavits, but now she says that is the only affidavit that was received. The one from Transparency International. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker.
Does the clerk want something from you?
Yeah, but there's a document I want to refer you to so that when it comes around, probably you may be able to guide me on how to proceed on these particular questions, which I'm supposed to give satisfactory answers to.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, having been a member of Parliament and having understood our practice, I want you to guide me on how I need to proceed in answering questions where I may end up discussing matters that are before courts for determination. And Mr. Speaker, when I see, and I'm so happy, but regret at the same time because of that sub judice rule, probably I may not be able to explain to this country properly who Mithika Linturi is. I want to bring to your attention and to tell the country.
Honorable Mithika Linturi, you are not at liberty to anticipate any questions.
This answer, yes.
You only answer questions that will be asked to you by the members. What I've invited you to do, and I'm sure you've been watching some of the proceedings from your colleagues, is who is Mithika Linturi? I was born here, I grew up here, I went to school here, I have done this in my life, I've encountered some obstacles, I have surmounted them or not, and I have been given the privilege to be what I am today. Something like that.
I'm guided.
So don't anticipate any questions. The questions will be asked by these members to you. And when they're asked, you are not entitled also to frame your own questions and answer them. You'll answer the questions that will be asked only.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Accordingly guided.
Yes.
And I think, Mr. Speaker, my life began back in the late 1969, because that is when I was born in a village called Iriaki in Igembe South constituency, formerly known Igembe North, Igembe district. Mr. Speaker, I was born from a very humble family, and what I remember most is when I was growing up and hunting cows or goats in a forest called Ndune near my home, when I was arrested by the chief in around 1978 to take me to school. That time, Mr. Speaker, the test that was used to check anybody that had grown of age to get to school was to lift your hand on top of your hand and see whether you would be able to touch the other side of your ear. That's when I went to Mwamba Primary School, and for around 8 years I went to, again, Mr. Speaker, to Igembe Secondary School. And the other thing that also makes me remember my first day in school, Mr. Speaker, and because of that I'm beginning, is when we were admitted and we are required to carry shoes and other items that we would use in school. Was that I went to school, my shoes in the box, and carrying the box on my hand to school, and everybody was laughing at me because they couldn't understand why I had not put on the shoes and had to carry the shoes in the box. Thereafter, I stayed there, Mr. Speaker, and after Form 4, I also went to Meru Technical School, and Mr. Speaker, thereafter, after finishing Meru Technical School, my father thought then I should have stayed at home to assist him in his coffee farm, because I'm from a family of 8, and then he required to spend some of his little earnings to educate my brothers and sisters. I became difficult after attending to my father's tea farm and coffee for some time, and then decided to rebel and go to look for something else to do. And that's how I left that home with only 30 shillings, without any clothes in a bag, without knowing where I would sleep. And my hustling life started from there. I made friends with many that I remember would be my role models. And during the course of life, I got interested in doing business here and there, and that's when I started business. I first of all got very interested in pursuing insurance, and I was the founder member of Access Insurance. Mr. Speaker, as I was doing business, I met very many people who inspired me in different ways, and some of the people I met and actually who inspired me to think about the politics and public service were the likes of the late Kennedy Matiba, Kina Muite, Raila Odinga, and even the late Kina Njaramogi. The late Kabando Wafula Mbuke and I were the first young boys, and Antai Wankuraru, who were there, and the boys of the Safina party, and the late Liki was the Secretary General. The first time I got charged in court, Mr. Speaker, was around that time, the year 2002, when I was alleged to have, and Mporo Abori, who is also my friend, we were very close, and we were charged with the offense that time. I think that the charge was defective of trying, because we had learned prayers, and it was construed that we were praying for the death of the president then. So we were charged for incitement. The matters went to court. We were lucky that we couldn't afford a legal fees to pay lawyers, and I thank Muturi Kigano and Muite, because these are the people that came to our rescue. We were acquitted. That is when I realized how important it was to have good friends. From there, Mr. Speaker, when we got interested.
Finish up in 2 minutes. You've already done your 10.
I got interested in running for parliamentary position, and I first of all ran under Safina ticket. I lost. The next election I ran on Found People. I lost, and then in the year 2007 I ran on a Kano ticket, and I was elected as a member of parliament for Igembe South, and from that time I have been a member of parliament for 3 terms consecutively until last election, when I decided to run as governor for Meru, and lost to the current governor. And Mr. Speaker, thereafter, in the wisdom of the current president, who I thank, decided to nominate me as candidate, as nominee for the position of CS Agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, that's why I'm here. Before this honorable committee, ready to answer any question that may arise.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.